Hello dear students, welcome to a new session. In this session, we will be dealing with the topic triangles. Before moving to the main subject, let's have a look at the key concepts that we'll be dealing in this chapter. You might already be familiar with the concept congruence, but in this chapter, we will be focusing more to a new concept named similarity, with a set of similarity criteria like incongruence and certain theorems, their proofs and their converses. Now let's begin. Let's begin with Thales theorem, otherwise called basic proportionality theorem. It states that if a line is drawn parallel to one side of a triangle to intersect the other two sides in distinct points, then the other two sides are divided in the same ratio. Here we have illustrated that with a figure. You can see a triangle LMN with a line PQ drawn parallel to MN. So mathematically, this theorem can be written as, the condition is if PQ is parallel to MN, then LP by MP is equal to LQ by NQ. Now we have to learn the proof of this theorem. For that, we are using the same figure, and we have to bring a little construction for that, a little modification to the figure. So as you can see, the first construction is to draw PA perpendicular to LQ and QB perpendicular to LP, as you can see. Now the second construction that we are bringing is to join MQ and NP. These are the two constructions that we are using. Now this is the same figure which we did just now. Now that we had made the constructions, we have to disintegrate the given figure into two parts, upper portion of PQ and lower portion of PQ. And we are using the equation for area of a triangle. We all know that area of any triangle is equal to half into base into height. So let's take the upper portion of PQ, that is triangle LPQ. We can see that triangle LPQ is having two sets of heights and bases. Based on that, we had written two equations, half LQ into PA, that be equation 1, and half LP into QB, that be equation 2. Now we are taking the lower portion of PQ, and we can see that there are again two triangles, many triangles, but we are going to take two triangles, namely MQP and NPQ. Those are obtuse angle triangles. If you want, make a note of this. For an obtuse angle triangle, one of the heights will lie outside the triangle. So in this triangle, MQP as well as NPQ, they have heights outside them. So for triangle MQP, the height is QB, and for triangle NPQ, the height is PA. And we can see the bases are the sides which make 190 degree with respect to the height. So that's how we got equation 3 and equation 4. Now we'll have to combine equations 1, 2, 3 and 4. Examining all these four equations, we can see that equation 2 and equation 3 are having QB as common, as you can see. So equation 1 and 4 similarly is having PA as common. Now the next procedure is to divide equation 2 by equation 3 and equation 1 by equation 4. As you can see, the equation 2 by equation 3 will be area of triangle LPQ by area of triangle MQP is equal to, we cancel the halves, we cancel the common QB, and what is left is LP over MP. Now for equation 1 divided by equation 4, that is area of triangle LPQ by area of triangle NPQ is equal to, again half and half get cancelled, and so did PA and PA, and we have LQ by NQ as the remaining. Now we have to recollect a topic that we studied in 9th standard, that for any two triangles that lie on the same base and between the same parallels, their areas are equal. So as we can see, triangle MPQ and triangle NQP lie on the same base PQ and in between the same parallels PQ and MN. We can say that their areas are the same. So we can see the equation 2 by equation 3, the LHS of that equation, and equation 1 by equation 4, those had become the same, which means that we can equate RHSs. That means LP by MP is equal to LQ by NQ, hence proved. That's all about the proof for BPT. Now let's have a look at the converse of basic proportionality theorem. Let's recollect. According to basic proportionality theorem, if two lines are parallel in a triangle, then the ratios are same. So the converse is literally the converse statement of basic proportionality. So the statement will go like this. Converse of basic proportionality theorem states that if a line divides any two sides of a triangle in the same ratio, then the line is parallel to the third side. That means if the ratios are same, then the lines are parallel. So as you can see in the figure, we have the triangle LMN, the same triangle which we used in the other topic. So LMN, and we have a line PQ, and the condition is that LP over MP is equal to LQ over NQ. So if it satisfies that condition, then we can conclude that PQ is parallel to MN. Now let's move on to the topic similarity of triangles. You might be familiar with the concept congruence of triangles. So let's recollect the concept of congruence. We can say two triangles are congruent if all their corresponding angles are the same, and so are their sides. But when we come to similarity, it's a little bit different. The equality is applicable to the angles, but when we talk about the sides, they needn't be equal, they need to be proportionate. I'll show you a demonstration. We can see two triangles X, Y, Z and ABC, and let's see the sides of X, Y, Z, that is X, Y is equal to 3 centimeter, while AB is equal to 6 centimeter. So when we take the ratio of those sides, that will be 3 by 6 or 1 by 2. Now let's move to the next set of sides. YZ is equal to 4 centimeter and BC is equal to 8 centimeter. Again, when we take the ratio, that is 4 by 8 or 1 by 2. Similarly, for the third set of corresponding sides, that is XZ by AC. AC is 10 and XZ is 5. So 5 by 10 is equal to 1 by 2 again. So that is the concept of similarity, and that is the main difference between congruence and similarity. Similar to congruence, there are certain criteria to be met by the triangles so that they are similar. Now let's move on to the various criteria of similarity of triangles. The first and second can be integrated into a single one, which means AA similarity criterion or AAA similarity criterion, where A denotes angles, simple as such. Now let's have a look at the figure. We can see two triangles DEF and STU with 3 equal corresponding angles. So even if two angles are equal, we can say that these triangles are similar. So we can say triangle DEF is similar to triangle STU according to AA similarity criterion or angle-angle similarity criterion. Now the only difference between AA and AAA is an addition of A, right? So if two angles are already equal, we can naturally say that the third angle is also equal. So that's all about AA and AAA similarity criterion. I hope that's clear. Now the next similarity criterion will be SAS similarity criterion. You're familiar with SAS, right? Side angle side criterion. As we can see in the figure, there are two triangles NOP and UVW. There we can see that angle N and angle U are 85 degrees each, so the angles are equal. Now for sides, NO is 4 centimeter and UV is 6 centimeter. If we take the ratio of those corresponding sides, we will get 4 by 6 or equivalently 2 by 3 as the ratio. Now for the second set of sides, that is NO by UV or NP by UW, that is 7 by 10.5 centimeter. Again, simplifying, we'll get 2 by 3, which means that set of two sides are proportionate and the angle between them are equal. That's how we can apply SAS similarity criterion in these triangles. Now moving on to the third concept of criterion, that is triple S similarity criterion or side similarity criterion. It's easy, as the name suggests, all the sides have to be proportionate. As you can see in the figure, OP by WX is equal to 4 by 10 or is equivalently equal to 2 by 5, and that is applicable for all the sides, all the corresponding sides. So for all the sides, the ratio will be 2 by 5, and we don't have to care about whether the angles are equal. The angles will be equal by default. So by SSS similarity criterion, in this figure the triangles are similar. That's all about this various criteria for similarity, and we are done with proving for similarity in triangles. Once we know that triangles are similar, there is a theorem we can apply. So that theorem is called areas of similar triangles. According to the statement of the theorem, the ratio of areas of two similar triangles is equal to the square of the ratio of their corresponding sides. That sounds a little bit hard, but we can look at the examples. There are two triangles ABC and PQR, and as per the theorem, there is a condition that the triangles should be similar. So let's take the triangles to be similar. So the condition is that if ABC is similar to PQR, then area of triangle ABC by area of triangle PQR will be equal to AB by PQ whole square, or BC by QR whole square, or CA by RP whole square. Now we shall discuss the proof for theorem of areas of similar triangles. So this is what we have to prove. Area of triangle ABC by area of triangle PQR is equal to AB by PQ the whole square, or any other side's ratio the whole square. You can take any. So we are taking the same figure, triangle ABC and triangle PQR. Now for every proof we need some construction or modification. So the modification that we are going to give in this proof is to construct BM perpendicular to AC in the first triangle and QN perpendicular to PR in the second triangle. So those are the only constructions that you have to give. Now again, the chapter is triangles, so the only equation that we are going to use for any proofs is half BH, that is area of triangle. So area of triangle ABC can now be written as half into AC into BM, base into height. Now similarly, for area of triangle PQR, we'll write half into PR into QN. Now again, let's take the ratio of those two equations. So the equations will be area of triangle ABC over area of triangle PQR will be equal to half AC into MB by half PR into NQ. But we don't want the half or anything else. Now that we had formed equations for ratio of area of ABC by PQR, we need to replace the terms MB, AC, NQ and PR with any sides, any corresponding sides of the two triangles. For that, we have to consider similarity concept again in triangles AMB and triangle PNQ. So let's have a look at those triangles. In triangle AMB and triangle PNQ, angle M and angle N are equal, they're 90 degrees by construction. Now for angle A and angle P, angle A and angle P are already parts of the similar triangles ABC and PQR. So by default, they will already be equal. And we have to, here we are introducing a new concept called CPST, or corresponding parts of similar triangles. You might remember CPCT, it's the same thing, except that for CPCT, all the sides and all the angles will be equal, but when dealing with similar triangles, angles will be equal and sides will be proportionate. That's the only difference in whole. So according to CPST, we have to say that AM by PN is equal to MB by NQ is equal to AB by PQ. Why? Because triangles AMB and PNQ are similar according to AA similarity criterion. I hope that's clear. Now we have to take CPST of triangle ABC and PQR as well. So by that CPST, we can say that AB by PQ is equal to BC by QR is equal to AC by PR. Now let's compare the two CPST equations. We have to replace MB by NQ and AC by PR. And we can see that in both the CPST equations, we have AB by PQ as a common. So simply we can replace MB by NQ with AB by PQ and AC by PR with AB by PQ. And we'll get area of ABC by area of PQR is equal to half into AB by half into PQ by PQ. And half and half get cancelled. AB into AB is AB square. PQ by PQ into PQ is equal to PQ square. That is AB square by PQ square. We can also take the square out, and what we have? AB by PQ the whole square. Hence proved the theorem. I hope it's clear. Let's move on to the next topic, the famous Pythagoras theorem. Everyone is familiar with that. Let's have a look at the Pythagoras theorem in detail. So Pythagoras theorem states that in a right triangle, the square of hypotenuse is equal to sum of the other two sides. Simple as such, right? So look at the picture. We can see there is a right angled triangle RST, right angled at S. So according to Pythagoras theorem, the only condition is that the triangle should be a right angled one. Now, in a right angled triangle, the hypotenuse square, that is RT square in this figure, that is equal to RS square plus ST square. That's all about Pythagoras theorem statement. Now, let's have a look at the proof of Pythagoras theorem. There are plenty of methods to prove Pythagoras theorem, but we will be using concept of similarity to prove. So, we are using the same diagram, triangle RST, right angled at angle S, and we have to give a construction, that is SA perpendicular to RT, which means that angle A is 90 degree. So we have to prove that each of the smaller triangles that had formed after construction is similar to the bigger triangle RST. Let's say, so in triangle RST and triangle RAS, angle S and angle A are 90 degree each already, and angle R is a common angle. So by AA similarity criterion, we can prove that those triangles are similar. Those triangles as in triangle RST and triangle RAS. So triangle RAS is now similar to triangle RST by AA criterion. We are not done yet. We have to prove that the other triangle, that is angle TAS, is now similar to the bigger one. For our convenience, we are taking the name of the bigger triangle TSR in this case. So in triangle TSR and triangle TAS, again A and angle S are 90 degree each, so that's done, and angle T is a common angle. So again by AA similarity rule, those triangles are also similar. Now for the CPST part, we can write for RST and triangle RAS, the CPST will be RS by RA will be equal to ST by AS will be equal to RT by RS. Now for the other two triangles, namely triangle TSR and triangle TAS, the CPST will be TS by TA equal to SR by AS equal to TR by TS. Now we need, for our equation, we need RS square plus ST square. So we are going to form RS square from the first equation, that is RS by RA is equal to RT by RS. So when we cross multiply, we'll get RS square on one side and that will be equal to RT into RA. Now for our TS square, we are taking the second set of equation. From that, we get TS by TA is equal to TR by TS. Again cross multiplying, we'll get TS square is equal to TR into TA. Now we'll begin with the left hand side or LHS. So RS square can be replaced with RT into RA and ST square or TS square can now be replaced with TR and TA. Now we can see RT is common in both these. So we can take that out and within the bracket we have RA plus TA. And from the figure, what is RA plus TA? That's right, it's RT. So we get RT into RT or is equal to RT square. So we have got that RS square plus ST square is now equal to RT square, hence proved. That's it for Pythagoras theorem. Before moving on to the converse of Pythagoras theorem, let's recollect the direct Pythagoras theorem. What does it state? For a right triangle, the hypotenuse square is equal to base square plus altitude square. So the converse is exactly opposite of that. Let's see the statement. In a triangle, if the square of one side is equal to sum of squares of the other two sides, then the angle opposite the first side is a right angle. So here the condition is that the sum of squares of the two sides should be equal to the third side, and the conclusion is that then the angle opposite to the longest side will be equal to 90 degree. So that's all about the statement of Pythagoras theorem. Now again we have to study the proof of Pythagoras theorem. So let's have a look at the proof of Pythagoras theorem. We have to prove that in a triangle ABC, if AB square plus CB square is equal to AC square, then angle B is equal to 90 degree. So angle B is equal to 90 degree is what we have to prove. So angle ABC, triangle ABC had been given. Now we have to construct a whole other triangle PQR with two conditions, so that angle Q is equal to 90 degree. That's the first condition, and the second condition is that RQ should be equal to CB and PQ should be equal to AB. So PQR should be constructed strictly following these two conditions. What are the conditions again? Angle Q is 90 degree and PQ should be equal to AB and RQ should be equal to CB. Now let's begin to the proof. So PQR is right angled. We know that by construction. So we can apply Pythagoras theorem in that. And what does it state? PQ square plus RQ square is equal to PR square. And we know that PQ is equal to AB and RQ is equal to CB. So PQ square plus RQ square can be replaced with AB square plus CB square. And the condition of converse Pythagoras theorem is that AB square plus CB square is already equal to AC square in the first triangle. So we have to incorporate those two, and then the equation will become AC square is equal to PR square. If AC square is equal to PR square, naturally AC will be equal to PR. Let's stop there. Now we have AC is equal to PR. Then we already constructed PQR such that RQ is equal to CB and PQ is equal to AB, which means that all the sides of the triangle PQR are perfectly equal to all the corresponding sides of the triangle ABC. What do they make then? Congruent. That's right. So triangle ABC and triangle PQR are congruent with SSS congruence criterion. So when two triangles are congruent, then their corresponding parts will also be equal. So by CPCT of the congruent triangles, we can say that angle B is equal to angle Q, that is equal to 90 degree, hence proved. Midpoint theorem can be considered as an extension or a special case of converse basic proportionality theorem. Before moving on to midpoint theorem, let's refresh the concept of converse BPT. What did it state? It stated that if a line is drawn such that in a triangle such that the line divides two sides of the triangle in the same ratio, then the line will be parallel to the third side. We have few modifications while we have to state midpoint theorem that the ratio be 1:1. Which means that the line is joining two midpoints of any two sides of a triangle, then the ratio of the division will be 1:1 by default. If that's the case, then the line will not only be parallel to the third side, but it will be half the length of the third side. Not so clear, right? But we will illustrate it with a picture. We can see figure LMN or a triangle LMN with PQ drawn connecting P and Q. Now the condition is that P is the midpoint of LM and Q is the midpoint of LN. Then the ratio LP by MP will be 1:1. So will be the ratio LQ by NQ. So the ratio is 1:1, that's fixed. So if that is the condition, then there are two conclusions for midpoint theorem. First is same as BPT, that it is PQ is then parallel to MN, and the second condition is that PQ will be half of MN. That is, if MN is 10, PQ is 5, MN is 100, PQ is 50, and so on. So let's state midpoint theorem. Midpoint theorem states that if two sides of a triangle are bisected by two different points, then the line joining points will be parallel to the third side, and that line will be half the length of the third side. I hope that's clear. So we are done with learning the concepts. Now it's time to apply them to numericals or questions. So let's begin with 1 mark questions, short answer type questions. In fact, very short answer type questions. So let's move on to the first question. Let's read it. In the given figures 1 and 2, DE is parallel to BC. Find EC in the first question and AD in the second question. So have a look at the two figures. We can see two figures here. Let's take the first figure and solve it. So we can see a triangle ABC with DE parallel to BC. Now we can, it's been marked in the figure that AD is 1.5 centimeter, BD is 3 centimeter, and AE is 1 centimeter. We are asked to find EC, the remaining part of the figure. So whenever you see a parallel line in a triangle, you have to either first think of BPT. So when we apply BPT, DE is parallel to BC, which means AD by BD will be equal to AE by CE. I hope that's clear. Now let's put the values into the equation. So then it will become 1.5 centimeter by 3 centimeter is equal to 1 centimeter by CE, which is the unknown. So then the next step is to cross multiply them. So 1.5 into CE is equal to 1 into 3. And we have to isolate CE there. So what we do is transpose 1.5 to the other side. So you have to pay attention here. 1.5 was being multiplied here. So upon transposing it to the other side, the operation will change to division. So then it will become 1 into 3, that is 3 divided by 1.5. What is 3 by 1.5? 2. 2 centimeter is the right answer. So the final answer is the value of CE is equal to 2 centimeter. Now let's move on to the second part of the same question. We can see a triangle ABC, again the naming is the same, and DE is parallel to BC. Now the values are different. We can see AE is now 1.8 centimeter. EC is now 5.4 centimeter and DB is 7.2 centimeter. We are supposed to find AD. Alright, so again applying BPT because we can see two parallel lines. So DE is parallel to BC. So by BPT, AD by BD will be equal to AE by EC. Now time to substitute the values, right? So the equation becomes AD by 7.2 centimeter is equal to 1.8 centimeter by 5.4 centimeter. Now again cross multiplying, we will be getting AD into 5.4 is equal to 1.8 into 7.2. We have to multiply and divide again. So again 1.4 has to be transposed to the other side so as to isolate AD here. So when into 5.4 is being transposed to the other side, multiplication will become division. So then the equation will be 1.8 into 7.2 divided by 5.4 will be equal to AD. Now 1.8 into 7.2 is 12.96 by multiplication. That divided by 5.4 will give you 2.4 centimeter, which is the value of AD. That's it about this question. Now we shall move on to the next question, right? Okay. So the question, D and E are respectively the midpoints on sides AB and AC of a triangle ABC such that BC is equal to 6 centimeter. Now they had given one more condition. If DE parallel to BC, then find the length of DE in centimeter. I hope the question is clear. They had given a lot of data. To begin with, D and E are respectively midpoints of sides AB and AC. So, which is a concept that we had to apply here? That's right, midpoint theorem. So, let's construct a triangle ABC and let's mark 2 points D and E so that D comes in the middle of AB and E in the middle of AC. So, we had marked the midpoints and BC is 6 centimeter, that is also been given. So we can mark BC as 6 centimeter and DE is parallel to BC. So join DE and we get a line that is parallel to BC. So it's clear that it's midpoint theorem that we have to apply. So they had given DE is parallel to BC and we are supposed to find the length of DE. And what is midpoint theorem? If DE parallel to BC and the ratio of the two sides are 1:1, then DE will be half into BC or 1/2 into BC. So 1/2 into BC is 6 centimeter. So 1/2 of 6 centimeter is 3 centimeter. Therefore, the length of DE is equal to 3 centimeter. That's the answer. Now shall move to the third question. The lengths of diagonals of a rhombus are 16 centimeter and 12 centimeter. Then the length of side of the rhombus is what we have to find. Now we have to remember the properties of rhombus as well, properties of diagonals to be precise. So the property of diagonals of a rhombus is that in a rhombus the diagonals are perpendicular bisectors of each other. I repeat, in a rhombus, the diagonals are perpendicular bisectors of each other. Okay, so let's construct a rhombus here, namely PQRS with diagonals PR and QRS joined. They are meeting at O. So we got the diagonals and what is the property? They are perpendicular bisector. So perpendicular means at angle O, they make 90 degree each, and bisectors means they are divided into two halves, equal halves. So in the question, it's been given that the diagonal, one of the diagonals is 16 centimeter and the other diagonal is 12 centimeter. So at O, the 16 centimeter has now been divided into two equal parts, that is 8 centimeter and 8 centimeter. I hope that's clear. Now for the other diagonal as well, at the point O, the whole 12 had been divided into 6 and 6 each. So now the diagonals are 8, 8, 6, 6 at O, and where O is 90-degree angle. Now we can see the whole rhombus had been made into 4 right triangles, and we are supposed to find one of the sides. And we also know that the sides of a rhombus are all equal. So we can take any triangle, and since it is a right triangle, we can directly apply Pythagoras theorem. So the concept that we are using in this question is Pythagoras theorem. So let's see. I'm taking triangle POS. So PO square plus OS square is equal to PS square. PO is 6 centimeter. So PO square will be 6 square. And SO is 8 centimeter. So SO square will be 8 square, that is equal to 64. So 6 square plus 8 square will give you PS square. 6 square is 36, 8 square is 64, 36 plus 64 is equal to 100. That's right. So PS square is equal to 100, or PS is equal to root 100, that is 10 centimeters. Moving on to the next question. Let's read the next question. It is given that triangle ABC similar to triangle PQR with BC by QR is equal to 1 by 3. Find area of triangle PRQ by area of triangle ACB. I'll repeat the question. It is given that triangle ABC similar to triangle PQR with BC by QR is equal to 1 by 3. Find area of triangle PRQ by area of triangle ACB. Now, which is the concept that we have to apply here? That's right. Ratio of areas of similar triangles. What does it state? Ratio of areas of two similar triangles is equal to square of the ratio of their corresponding sides. So, area of PRQ by area of ACB will be equal to either PR by AC the whole square, or RQ by CB the whole square, or any other side the whole square. So, and we have to remember another thing here. The ratio that had been given in the question is BC by QR is equal to 1 by 3, which means that the part of triangle ACB is in the numerator and the part of PRQ is in the denominator. But the question has clearly stated as to find the ratio of area of PRQ. So PRQ is in the numerator, ACB is in the denominator. So we have to take the reciprocal of the ratio. 1 by 3 had to be made 3 by 1. Now it's easy. Whole square will give you the area of the triangles. So area of triangle PRQ by area of triangle ACB will be equal to 3 by 1 the whole square, or 3 square, which is 9. So the ratio of areas of those two triangles is equal to 9. Let's move on to the next question. Question: in an equilateral triangle of side 24 centimeter, find length of the altitude. Questions is simple, right? The answer is also simple. The solution is simple. So we have an equilateral triangle ABC with sides 24 centimeter each, and we are supposed to find the length of altitude. So let AD be the altitude. We have to remember an important point. In an equilateral triangle, the altitude and the median are one and the same. So altitude means the line that is perpendicular to the base, and median means the line that bisects the base. So in an equilateral triangle, the altitude is median itself, which means that, let's take as in the case of triangle ABC, the line AD is same time perpendicular to BC and will bisect BC. Means that BC, which was initially 24, is now divided into 12 and 12, equal halves to be precise. So now we have got two right angle triangles, namely ADC and ADB. Let's take any one of them, say ADC, and apply Pythagoras theorem in that. What does it state? Let's say in triangle ADC, AD square plus DC square will give you AC square. And AD square is what we have to find, so keep it as it is. AC square is 24 square, DC square is 12 square. So the equation is now AD square plus 12 square or 144 is equal to 24 square or 576. And AD square, to isolate AD square, you have to transpose 144 to the other side. So that becomes 576 minus 144. That will give you 432. So AD square is now equal to 432. I don't think 432 is a perfect square, so we'll have some portion in the root, but that's okay. Upon finding the square root of AD square, we will get it as 12 root 3 centimeter. That's okay. So the answer, or the length of the height of this particular equilateral triangle is 12 root 3 centimeter. Let's move on to the next question. A figure is being given, so let's read the question. In the given figure, if PQ parallel to RS, prove that triangle POQ is similar to triangle SOR. That's a perfectly direct question. So let's have a look at the figure. We have let's say two lines QR and PS intersecting at O, and they had perfectly stated in the question that PQ is parallel to RS. So we can apply the angles formed by parallel lines and transversal concepts. So let's take angle P and angle S. Those are alternate interior angles, right? So they will be equal, and so will be the next pair, that is Q and angle R. They will also be equal, and hence we got two sets of equal angles. So by AA criterion, triangle POQ is similar to triangle SOR. Now we can also add angle POQ is equal to angle SOR because they are vertically opposite angles. And using that, we can improve the criterion or modify the criterion to AAA similarity criterion, and that's totally subjective. That's all for that question. Now the next question is, we had been given a figure directly, and in triangle ABC, DE is parallel to BC. Find the value of X. That's a question. Have a close look at the question. There is a triangle ABC with DE parallel to BC, and we can see that AD has been marked X, DB has been marked X plus 1, AE has been marked X plus 3, and EC as X plus 5. So all the sides are being represented in terms of some linear equation of X. Again, whenever we see a line which is parallel to a side in a triangle, the first concept that we have to think of is BPT. So let's check if BPT can be applied here. So already given that DE is parallel to BC, so let's write the ratio. That means AD by BD is equal to AE by CE. Those are equal. So we can substitute the values. AD is X by BD is X plus 1 is equal to AE is X plus 3 by CE is equal to X plus 5. That can be given. Now we have to cross multiply. So X plus 5 will go and multiply with X, and X plus 3 will be multiplied to X plus 1. Now we have to do those normal multiplication for linear equations. Now for the left hand side, we'll get X square plus 5x, that will be equal to, and in the right hand side we will get X square plus X plus 3x plus 3. Now X and 3x on the LHS, on the RHS are like terms, so they can be combined together. What is X plus 3x? 4x, right? So the equations can be modified as X square plus 5x is equal to X square plus 4x plus 3. Now we have to cancel the common terms on either sides. We can see positive x square is common on both sides. So those can be cancelled then and there itself. Now what do we have remaining? 5x is equal to 4x plus 3. We have to isolate x terms to one side and the constant to the other. So I am going to transpose 4x to the other side. So plus 4x will become minus 4x upon transposition. Then equation will be 5x minus 4x is equal to 3. What is 5x minus 4x? That is 1x or simply x. So x is equal to 3 is the solution of this problem. Let's move on to the next question. In the given figure, angle A is equal to angle B and AD is equal to BE. Show that DE is parallel to AB. Looks like a simple figure. Yes, it's a simple problem as well. So we'll begin with angle A is equal to angle B. From that given data, we can infer that triangle ABC is an isosceles one. Upon applying isosceles triangle property, we can also infer that AC is equal to BC. AC is equal to BC in the triangle ABC because it's an isosceles triangle. Now AC can be written as AD plus CD, right? And similarly, BC can also be written as BE plus CE. From the given data, AD is equal to BE, which means that we can cancel AB and BE from that equation. So AB plus CD equal to BE plus CE has now been reduced to CD equal to CE. Now we have to highlight two equations, CD equal to CE, which we got right just now, and AD equal to BE, which was given in the question. We have to divide either equation 1 by equation 2 or vice versa. We will get CD by AD will be equal to CE by BE, and the ratio is already equal. And here we are going to apply converse BPT, which means that if the ratios are same, then the lines are parallel. So because CD by AD is equal to CE by BE, we can conclude that DE is parallel to AB, hence proved. That's it for that question. Now let's move on to certain short answer questions for which carry 2 or 3 marks, namely mostly in section B and C. So the first question, there are 2 figures given. So in the given figure, find XY, that's the first part, and the second part is to find area of triangle PQR divided by area of triangle ZYX. So there are 2 subparts for this question. Let's begin. In triangle PQR and triangle ZYX, we have to prove that they are similar. So angle P is equal to angle Z is equal to 60 degree given in the figure. Then PQ by ZY, the value 4.2 by 8.4, that is equal to 1 by 2. I hope that's clear. So PQ by ZY is now equal to 1 by 2. Let's take the ratio of the other given sides, that is PR by ZX is equal to 3 root 3 by 6 root 3. Root 3 and root 3 can get cancelled. 3 by 6 will again be 1 by 2. So now we have got that the ratio of the sides is 1 by 2 and the angles in between those sides is 60 degree. So using SAS similarity criterion, these triangles are similar. By CPST, we can write QR by YX is equal to 1 by 2 by default. Now QR is 7 centimeter, so 7 by YX is equal to 1 by 2, or YX is equal to 7 times 2 or 7 into 2, that is equal to 14 centimeter. First part is done. Let's move to the second part. We are supposed to find area of triangle PQR by area of triangle ZYX. So that we know that the ratio is already 1 by 2. So by theorem of ratio of areas of similar triangles, we can say that area of triangle PQR by area of triangle ZYX is equal to 1 by 2 the whole square, that is equal to 1 by 4. Moving on to the next question. In the given figure, triangle ABC is similar to triangle PQR as usual. Now find the value of y plus z. That's a little bit different, right? Okay, have a look at the figure. We can see two triangles PQR and ABC with sides 3, 6 and y in PQR and with sides z8 and 4 root 3 for ABC. Now specially note that angle R and angle C are 30 degree each. So those are the data given in the figure. Now we are supposed to find y plus z. So all you have to do is find the ratio of compare the ratio of these triangles using similarity criterion. So let's prove that it's already been given that triangle ABC is similar to triangle PQR. So they have already simplified it for us. That, thank God. Now so we can directly write the CPST for both the triangles. Have a look at the CPST. From the name itself, from ABC and PQR, we can write the ratios. So by CPST, AB by PQ is equal to AC by PR is equal to BC by QR. I hope that's clear. You can write it directly from the names. So make sure that you name the triangles perfect. Okay, now we may substitute the values. Z by 3 is equal to 4 root 3 by y is equal to 8 by 6. Now we have to find z separately, then y separately, then add them together. That's how we are going to do this problem. So let's take z by 3 is equal to 8 by 6 and solve for z. So we can see the equation will become z by 3 is equal to 8 by 6. So the next step will be cross multiplication. So z into 6 will be equal to 8 into 3, or we can transpose 6 to the other side to isolate z. So z will be equal to 3 into 8 by 6, and upon cancellation we can find the value of z as 4. So z is equal to 4. Half part is done. Now it's time to find the value of y. So we are going to take 4 by 3 by y is equal to 8 by 6 to solve for y. So again, cross multiplying, we will get y is equal to 4 by 3 into 6 by 8. So y, upon cancellation and further proceedings, we will get the value of y as 3 root 3. That part is also done. Now the only thing that we have to do is add them together. So z plus y will be equal to 4 plus 3 root 3. I hope that's clear. It's a new concept, but it's okay. Upon practice, we can pace it up. Okay. Now moving on to the next question. A figure has been given. So have a look at the figure and read the question. In the given figure, OA is equal to 3 centimeter, OB is equal to 4 centimeter, angle AOB is equal to 90 degree, AC is equal to 12 centimeter, and BC is equal to 13 centimeter. Wow, a lot, right? That's okay. And the question is to prove that angle CAB is equal to 90 degree or right angle. So that's what we have to prove. First of all, I think we have to practice drawing the figure by ourselves. So construct the triangle and apply all the given values in it. So moving on to the solution, we already know that triangle AOB is right angled. That's given in the question. So we can apply Pythagoras theorem concept. Okay, so what does it state? Hypotenuse square is equal to base square plus altitude square, or in triangle AOB, AB square is equal to AO square plus OB square. Substituting the values for AO and OB, we will get AB square is equal to 3 square plus 4 square, or 9 plus 16. What is the sum of 9 and 16? 25. So AB square is 25, or AB is root 25 or 5 centimeter. I hope that's clear. Slowly trace down the steps. Now, in order to prove that angle CAB is equal to 90 degree, the triangle ABC should also satisfy Pythagoras theorem. I hope that's clear. So we have to check, we have to verify if AB square plus AC square is equal to BC square. I hope that's clear. So let's begin with the left hand side, that is AB square plus BC square. AB square plus AC square. What is AB? We have got it as 5. So AB square will be 5 square. Now AC square will be 12 square. 5 square plus 12 square is equal to 25 plus 144. The sum is 169. Let it be there. Now we'll move to the next part, that is to find BC square. In the figure, BC is 13. So BC square will be 169. So we can see that AC square plus AB square is 169, BC square is also 169, which means that our triangle ABC is satisfying the Pythagoras theorem. We can conclude by converse Pythagoras theorem that since hypotenuse square is equal to base square plus altitude square, the angle opposite to the longest side, that is 13 centimeter, is 90 degree, or angle A or angle CAB is equal to 90 degree. Now we will move on to more problems. There's been a figure given, so let's read the question again. In the given triangle PQR, so the name is PQR, the given data ST is parallel to QR and PS by SR is equal to 3 by 5. So those are the conditions given. One more condition, if PQ is equal to 28 centimeter, find PT. So some values are given, some are unknown. We are supposed to find the unknown values, a usual thing. So we'll list out the given things. Given ST is parallel to QR. So the thing we have to remember is that in a triangle, whenever there is a line drawn parallel to any one of the sides, we have to think of either converse BPT or BPT. So here they have directly given that the lines are parallel. So we have to apply BPT. So by BPT, we can say that in triangle PQR, we have to say that PS by SR is equal to PT by TQ is equal to 3 by 5, because in the question they had directly given that PS by SR is equal to 3 by 5. I hope that's clear. Now, so PT by TQ will also be equal to 3 by 5. Now, TQ in the denominator can be represented as PQ minus PT. I'll repeat that. PT by TQ is 3.5 and in the denominator the part TQ can be written as or represented as the whole thing PQ minus a part PT. So we'll get the equation as PT by PQ minus PT is equal to 3 by 5. Again we have to do the cross multiplication. So PT into 5 is equal to PQ minus PT into 3. I hope that part is clear. So 5 PT is now equal to 3 PQ minus 3 PT. In that step, I open the brackets and multiply 3 to both PQ and PT. Now we can see that on one part there is 5 PT and in the other part there is minus 3 PT. So we have to bring PT terms to one side and isolate PQ terms on the other. So PT, so 5 PT, and when we bring the negative 3 PT, it will become plus 3 PT. So 5 PT plus 3 PT will give you 8 PT. 5 plus 3, 8. So 5 PT plus 3 PT will give you 8 PT. That will be equal to 3 PQ. Now 8 PT is equal to 3 PQ, and in the question PQ, the value of PQ had been specifically given, that is 28 centimeter. So we can directly substitute the value of PQ. So 8 PT will be equal to 3 into 28 3 into 28 is 84. So the equation becomes 8pt is equal to 84, or pt is equal to 84 divided by 8, that is equal to 10.5 centimeter. So that's the value of pt. Moving on to the next question, we can see two triangles ABC and DCB standing on the same base BC. Let's have a look at it. So the question says, in the given figure, triangle ABC and triangle DCB are right-angled triangles. Show that AP into PC is equal to BP into PD. Now, look at the concept that we have to prove. It's written in the form of a product, right? AP into PC is equal to BP into PD. We are not so familiar with that. We are only familiar with ratios, right? So when these type of questions come, what you have to do is transpose any parts to the other side, each other. For example, you can take BP to the other side and PC to the other side. I hope that's clear. I'll repeat it again. From what we have to prove is AP into PC is equal to BP into PD. I am going to bring this PD to this side and bring this PC over here to this side. So now they were being multiplied at first, but after transposing, those become division or in ratio form. I hope that's very, very clear, because in questions they can ask anyway. So when they are given in product form, you have to transpose and make those into ratio forms. Now, okay, this is what we have to prove. So we have to take the two triangles that they had given. I am taking triangle APB and triangle DPC. So in those triangles, angle A is equal to angle D. They had given it directly that both of those are right angle. So they are each 90 degree. So we can simply say given. Now the second data, again they had given in the figure angle 2 and angle 3. When we observe angle 2 and angle 3, we can see that they are vertically opposite angles. I hope you can see upon observation. Now, we have got two sets of equal angles, which means that we can infer or conclude that triangle APB is similar to triangle DPC by AA or AA criterion. Okay. Now by CPST, again from the name itself, you can write the CPST portion. Okay, by CPST, we can write AP by DP is equal to AB by DC is equal to PB by PC. Now, what do we want? We want AP by DP is equal to PB by PC. We don't want the one in the middle. So, we only take what's needed, and when we cross multiply those, we will get AP into PC is equal to BP into BP into PD, sorry. Hence proved. Simple, right? Let's move on to the last and final question of the session. Let's read the question. In an equilateral triangle ABC, D is a point on BC such that BD is equal to 1 by 3 BC. Prove that 9 AD square is equal to 7 AB square. So we have to list out whatever it is that we have to prove and list out the given things. So BD is equal to 1 by 3 BC is a given data. Now it's been specified in the question that ABC is an equilateral triangle and D is a point such that BD is equal to 1 by 3 BC, but we don't have any 90 degree angles so that we can apply Pythagoras theorem in it. So for that, we have to construct a height AP for the triangle ABC. Now we get three right triangles, namely APC, APD and APB. But we require only two of them, namely APD and APB. So in triangle APB, applying Pythagoras theorem, we get AB square is equal to AP square plus BP square. In the second triangle APD, AD square is equal to AP square plus DP square, and that is the equation that we are going to begin with. So we have to begin with LHS, that is AD square is equal to AP square plus DP square. Now AP square can be replaced with AB square minus BP square from the first Pythagoras equation plus DP square. We know that AP is the height of the triangle, which means that P will bisect BC. So BP can be called as 1 by 2 BC or half of BC. And we know that BD is equal to 1 by 3 BC. We are doing this so that we can replace BP square and DP square from our LHS equation. Now DP can be written as BP minus BD or half BC minus 1 by 3 BC. That will result in 1 by 6 BC. So now we have BP is equal to half BC and DP is equal to 1 by 6 BC, and we are going to substitute that. So the equation becomes AD square is equal to AB square minus 1 by 2 BC the whole square plus 1 by 6 BC the whole square. Squaring it, the equation will become AB square minus 1 by 4 BC square plus 1 by 36 BC square. Now we know that ABC is an equilateral triangle, so we need to replace BC with AB. So we can rewrite it as AD square is equal to AB square minus 1 by 4 AB square plus 1 by 36 AB square. As you can see, in the right hand side, AB square is common. So we can take AB square out, and in the bracket we have 1 minus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 36. Now in the next step, we have taken LCM for all the three. So that will become AB square into bracket 36 by 36 minus 9 by 36 plus 1 by 36. Now operating the bracket, we will get it as 28 by 36 into AD square. 28 and 36 have 4 as a common factor, so we can cancel the common factor 4 from 28 and 36, and we will get AD square is equal to 7 by 9 AB square, and if we transpose 9 to the other side, we will get 9 AD square is equal to 7 AB square, hence proved. Thank you.